So this is one of the worst junglers in the game, supposedly. She's getting that rework, but Riot said, look, she's struggling a bit too much. Let's give her some AP ratio buffs on the Q, as well as a burnout and bonus attack speed ratio increase on that Q twin bite as well. That was a great quality of life adjustment last year. Made her kind of broken. She's been through the ropes of the up and down in the meta recently over the past couple of years. Really strong, stat checking, nerfed, useless, worst jungler in the game. Repeat the process. Now, she has been struggling in Season 14. However, there are some hybrid builds, some interesting builds coming out, like the one in this video, that have very high win rates that we can abuse to a 60, 70, 80% clip if you're good enough. So essentially the problem with SHYVANA is, pre-6 she's kind of a lemon, and she revolves a bit too much around getting dragons and controlling objectives. She doesn't have the same, skirmishing potential that, for example, a Nocturne would have. Not a Nunu, I just wanted to show you where he was. So, why even pick this champion? And as you would have gleaned from the title, 10 CS per minute. 10 CS per minute. Not a lot of champions can actually do that, and that's the whole thing about her. She can. And what happens when you play a champion like this is you have a Nunu during the red side quadrant going into the bottom side, going for this gank here, gonna kill your bottom lane. You know this is gonna happen. You need to know where you have to be and where you should not be. You have to understand equal and opposite. Let the Nunu do his thing. What am I going to do to get myself some gold experience and so on? Let's see what we do in this game. How do we get 10 CS per minute on this champion, and how can we thrive? Now, typically, if this happens to you and Nunu ganks in the bottom lane, get some kills, and you're over here, slow enemies by 99. Needed to be sticky to someone, you have a free jungle improvement resource, as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. Fully stacked without, which enables a lot of burst. Graves' itemization remains certain fighter components, although honestly stick to the season 2. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle diff every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. Now you're gonna vertical, right? And I covered something like this in the private Discord as well, where Nunu did exactly this, but he level 2 ganked the bottom side, and it was too soon. So the Graves was able to actually get this pressure here and it lost in the game. This Nunu, at the very least, when you're doing it intelligently, do it with the 3 camper, right? Do the red side quadrant, then gank the bottom side. Now it's too late for the SHYVANA to do anything because she's already on her wolves. She will finish off her Gromp into her blue, and you would have noticed the Raptors Krugs red into the Wolves Gromp blue. That means we can do the Scuttle Crab, look for something, get some vision, go back to base, and then you're gonna have Krugs, Raptors, Wolves Gromp spawn all close to each other, all nice and juicy, no stress. However, we did not pay attention to the warding situation of the mid lane to see that the Akali placed it. She does take a turret shot here, so we're gonna flash in and try and get something, but that's where, we tried to hit the E, but it wasn't there for us. That's where things get a little bit, like, why am I picking this champion? I could pick Nocturne and 99% that the Akali is going to die. If I pick Graves, she's going to die. If I pick any other meta jungler, she's going to die. This spawns at 4 minutes. I have to wait for it because I just don't have the kit necessary to really capitalize on these scenarios. Now, the Nunu knows, or should know, that she started on the Raptors. The Zed, hold on a second, we're having a fat chat here about Zed. I kind of want to see what happens because the guy decides to cancel and stay, and this is where you really wish you could kill the Akali, right? Because now you can push this wave out for your Zed, and he of course has TP, and it's on him that he wants to do this and deal with it. The SHYVANA is the farming life, and honestly, that's kind of how you have to think a little bit. You need to accept that sometimes the better play, the best play, is not a play you're going to make. Instead, you're just going to have to deal with what your champion provides and go ahead and go back to your sequencing. Now, obviously, the Kiana's here. The Nunu gets a kill on the Zillion. We're not looking at the Nunu. I guess, while this is a video where I'm looking at you and talking at you, and you guys in-game would be clicking around, right? Looking at this stuff. Yes, yes, yes. You should do. When you watch this video and things happen like that, you're like, whoa, whoa, Virkayu, what's happening? How's the Nunu killing the Zillion? I didn't see it. Kind of the point a little bit, isn't it? Because you have to mind your own business to a certain degree. And farming junglers, typically, we always say play around 6, focus on your econ, and Scenarius, the Master Yi, Rank 1 Master Yi, has put out, like, his view of the jungle. And I've spoken about his view of the jungle a lot. Some of it I agree with, some of it I don't, but that's because of who he plays, right? And his statement's basically been your job is to farm. You should not be rotating for low probability plays. Your job is to farm and control the map, and when you see those opportunities, you go for them. Like, this guy goes for the grubs. I don't care about the grubs, right? That's a low probability play, no prior, I'll just die. Let me just go head to my bottom side. I'll take this dragon, then I can counter jungle, then I can farm some more. And if you do those things properly, right, you farm efficiently, you get good gold, good experience, good sequencing, good objectives, those ganks that you didn't really go for will slide into place as long as you make the right pathing decisions, yeah? Because you'll find that all of a sudden you have good angles to go to, you have nice dives you can do with your 6. All of these things kind of fall into place if you look for high probability plays based around your farming and based around your level 6. And it works great for Master Yi, it works great for SHYVANA. Other champions, just because of the nature of what they are, who they are, and what they can do, the rules are different, right? So it depends on who you really play. But SHYVANA really falls into that, look, I'm a stat checker a little bit. I need to ensure that I'm not taking such high-risk plays that I get nothing. Because if you get nothing a couple of times in the SHYVANA, well, you will be nothing. That's why she's getting reworked. However, at the moment, we're going to go for the pickaxe first. I, of course, am a big fan of, getting Tiamat and things like this on a lot of champions. Titanic Rush on the SHYVANA can be pretty damn good as well. And obviously, we're seeing the hybrid builds come through. And that's the thing, right? That's what they buffed. They buffed the hybrid builds. They gave her that attack speed boost, basically saying, look, here's AP, here's attack speed, we nerfed Nash's Tooth, build some Nash's Tooth, right? Like, you can do that as well. But because of the AD-focused buffs they gave her last year, people are like, well, can we combine these two things? And that's kind of what you're seeing at the moment. Honestly, I love that. I love hybrid builds more than anything. Most of you know who've been long-time watchers of the main channel, when Kaiser was released, man, I was just playing Hybrid Kaiser Perma. I still play Hybrid Kaiser. I still do it to this day. Definitely a lot more for fun now than it used to be. Back then it was a lot stronger, but you see the damage though? Like, if you focus on getting to a point where you're pretty damn strong, you see it's warded here so we don't waste any time. Look at this. Yeah, the Zillion has a lot of damage, but look at this SHYVANA move here. Like, this is, we even don't really hit the maximum E, but that percentage HP damage, still pretty damn huge when you consume that E mark. Again, here, you press this button down, you've got a 3 flat bonus. The second paragraph that you can see there, 3 plus 1% of your bonus AD. That's your max health damage that you dish. That used to be 3.5, but she was abusing the Demonics Embrace Jack Show builds of early season 13, like everybody else was, and she was really strong, like really, really giga strong. So they basically said, look, 3.5 flat, 3.0 flat, and now obviously with it scaling with the AD, okay, let's max this sucker right now and get more max HP damage. We've got 2 ratios on the regular fireball damage as well. Cool. Hybrid it is. Now, the Shojin Liandry's tech, I like that. Honestly, I think it's a really strong, unique build, and I like Liandry's Rush, and basically, most champions like this. Not Rush on SHYVANA, but, like on the Nunus and on those kind of champions, the Udyrs, where you're kind of tanky, but you dish a decent amount of damage. The Liandry's is really powerful as a rush item. And obviously you're squishier, but because it provides that HP, it replaces the Demonics Embrace in those builds. And then obviously you can go Frozen Heart, Abyssal Mask, Force of Nature, Kanik Rukun, whatever you want to go. And SHYVANA, here, you don't know that she... Like, I would probably assume she warded the grubs, but of course in Challenger Grandmaster, it's likely she warded your approach so that they can see when you arrive. At this point, you just assume you are seen, and you don't have the map pressure whatsoever to actually go for this into the river blindly. And there it is, you see? That's why I tell you, scan as you leave. Okay, they might have been in my jungle. Let me scan now, because I got 6 seconds to walk into the river and see what's what. Don't scan when you're here and only use 2 seconds of it. Maximize the full 12 seconds total you have of your Oracle Lens. And because we were seen, we know the SHYVANA is now in a bit of a predicament with the Nunu showing up here with his Haunting Guise and Blasting Wand. A lot of damage here. We'll use our ultimate here to go unstoppable and avoid the Nunu E. And as you can see, the Nunu comes in thinking, I'm Nunu. I'm rushing Landry's. What are you rushing, AD-focused SHYVANA? You can't kill her. That's the importance. Thanks, Zed. That's the importance. You see this? You see this? We're just watching. We did our job. We pushed the enemy jungler off. We beat him 1v1. We fall back to our grubs. We focus the objective. We think, I'm not going to rotate to this until it's guaranteed for me to get something. And even then, you see the hedge. You see the hedge. You think, I should help my team. But it's a Kiana. You're not getting anything. Just finish the grubs. The mentality is very, very different. That's how you get 10 CS per minute. We're at 91 at the moment. 2 per for the grubs. Fall back to the Krugs. And in the meantime, our bottom lane are in a slight lead, actually. The Twitch has 300 gold lead. And the Nautilus is a 600 gold lead, so that's pretty damn good, considering the impact the Nunu's had. Now, we're not quite at 6 yet, so we don't really want to force something here unless it is absolutely free. Doesn't look like we're going to necessarily. Woof, that was a little bit close. Back to base. Shojin complete. Strong item to rush. Now, you know the Leandries is upcoming. We're going to basically try and double down on this twin bite damage here, saying, look, we got 100% AD ratio, kind of like the HP, kind of like the overall passive of the Leandries is huge for the typical AP SHYVANA train. I don't know. I just get excited about hybrid builds. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's an irrational thing. I would never sort of advocate for hybrid builds unless I thought there was an element of viability. But whether you're going AP hybrid with a tank or AP hybrid with an AD, I always like that because it's so good when you're in an elo where you're worried about like all AD and all AP comps. It's like, don't worry, I'm hybrid. That doesn't matter. And I play Warwick, I play Kai'Sa. It's just a thing that I enjoy. And the fact that this is a rising build with SHYVANA makes me a little bit happy because people have been speaking about Drain Tank, full AD fighter mode, full AP mage assassin SHYVANA, and all of a sudden people are like, whoa. What if, because Shojin is so damn good, we just did that, and Leandries is so damn good, we went that, and then we just like add some penetration. Because obviously here, once you go into all-out form, as we chase a kill, we got the 2 dragons, we got the grubs, with 002, there you go. The damage here is quite large. A lot of magic resist, a lot of magic scaling on that E as well, like 90%. You're gonna have this right here, all AP scaling on that damage on the ultimate as well. We are used to the Night Harvester Nasher SHYVANAs who just kind of ult a little bit, they just chuck nukes at you from range. This allows you, with the HP, with the cooldowns, with the hybrid scalings, to really have the best of both worlds. And, that's good, right? Leveraging everything that the kit has to offer. Now, as your sequencer becomes super juicy, fresh, and fast, it is important that you start to have lane impact. Now, you're noticing I'm saying that at 12 minutes 50 as, the early game's finishing. And if we look at the gold amount, we're at 4.9k gold, and typically, this would be a rather measly amount, and I agree with you. We're looking for 6,000 by 14 to really be in that carry train, and, we're about 1,000 off of that. Now, if you had a few more free kills, high probability kills, if you were able to push turret plates a little bit more with the grubs you got, you probably... Whoa! Died, but he died in style, I tell you that much. So yeah, that aspect is pretty interesting, and I think, when you're playing this style of champion, I acknowledge it's not always the sexiest way to play, but for low elo, for mid MMR, you can do a lot of cool stuff. See, now we've ult, we see the counter go deep on the Zillion, and you notice here already, free damage, you notice here already the move. Watch this. The Zillion's gonna spawn, TP in immediately, alright, die immediately, and the SHYVANA was already moving. If the Zillion lives, she's already going up to defend the plates here, already making that move, because again, you gotta get on the map at some point, even in the mid-game. If you're not getting on the map a lot early, which we haven't done, you gotta get on the map in the mid-game. And we're at 5.8k by 14. 5.9k, you see? Even with this more reserved playstyle, should you do it correctly, boom! 6,000 basically at 14 minutes, and we're 1 RNG scuttle, or 1 cleanup kill, 1 extra camp away from reaching that 6,000 threshold at 14 minutes carry target, which I always tell you guys, if you want to carry the games, you gotta hit that amount, and it gives you a lot of control over your game. Now, obviously, if you don't hit it, you can come back, but ideally, that's the thing you're looking for. Now, we don't have ult up, which means, again, are we looking to play against a Karma, a Senna, a Nunu? No. No, you just, you go back to your Raptors, you go and stack up your Fury a little bit, you go down to your blue side if you can't do the Herald, and you keep an eye on the map here, and you say, all right, is there anything I can rotate to of high probability? You can see here, obviously, the Nunu's on that, and we're just watching to see what exactly is going on. We're level 11, by the way, and he's level 8, because we're at 138 CS. And also comes in holding waves, pushing waves. The Nunu's just getting absolutely eviscerated here with the Sork Boots, plus a Shojin, plus a Dark Seal. Go back to base. Kiana's going to show up here. Obviously, pay attention. He ran away. He did not want to fight the dragon. Okay, let's go. Here we go into the Leandries now. We're going to see the damage come through. The Shojin here doesn't give us any passive bonus damage, but yeah, this is where you want to have that good spike, right? 2 items, 3 items. What are you building? Because that's basically how your game's going to be dictated. Ulting in here, smiting. We got the burnout. We're going to throw that E. Obviously, we went for the Q first, and the E came out and sent us force to flash. We'll take that. But now, of course, because we have some AP ratios, we can start to chuck some bombs. There we go. Karma's, not very useful for this. Well, she makes life rough, but as you can see, the damage. And in the meantime, the Akali was up for pushing bottom lanes, trying to go on the Z, the Nautilus is there, the Nunu's there, which means everybody can rotate as we fuse all our words together. Except we're not speaking German, so it doesn't make any sense. And then we're gonna go ahead and create some power for the 3rd dragon. Give up the first grubs to get the dragon. You can easily get the second 3 grubs and stack all the dragons. And SHYVANA, that's huge. Gets 10 CS per minute. Not a very difficult playstyle. You're just playing for the guaranteed wins and making sure that your stat checking champion is always ahead of all the stats that need to be checked. Kind of big a deal though. And again, most SHYVANAs are bad because they don't have fluidity. They don't sequence correctly. They don't clear fast enough early. They rotate to things that they shouldn't be rotating to. They don't drag camps and dragons and let them tick down. Bring back Hunter's Machete and Talisman, please. And now, of course, we're taking a Scuttle Crab. Scan it up. As I said, once your sequencing is good, it gives you a lot of time, which means you can use that time to go into their quadrants, investigate, get some vision, steal some camps away. At this point, you have no idea what the Nunu's doing, and we haven't been tracking because we don't really care. I don't know if he took his camps before he went bottom lane. Should you? You could, but there's always a lot of things going on in the mid game. So focus on your own camps here, holding waves, pushing waves. Back to base, that'll be a Haunted, guys. Not quite enough for the Leandris here, but we'll catch this wave, hold this wave. That goes deep onto the Kiana. Stand still. Look at this. Now, this is what you're trying to avoid in the early game. A lot of people do this in the early game. See, now we're just going to go into Dragon form here to chuck out an E. We're going to get that knockback from the Kiana ultimate. Karma shows up to speed her up. And already that damage is going to hurt. I can't imagine with the Leandris. I think the Leandris damage on some of these champions like Nunu and Udyr and SHYVANA is so big and unexpected. And the HP just provides so much extra survivability to champions that want to go in. Like, I know SHYVANA has been like ult out, chuck long range bombs, as I've said, but the fact that she can actually go in with this build and use that AP and survive a lot better is what we love, because full AP SHYVANA typically just gets exploded. Like, that's her problem. But now what are you going to do? Obviously at this particular stage, now we do have Leandris. So we have 10 stacks in the Dark Seal as well. Quite easy, isn't it? This is really how I would play Mundo. When he wasn't killed by Riot for no reason, and for some reason they wouldn't help me fix him. I've been asking for about 14 months since they did that rework of the rework, and it was just horrific. But in Season 12, this is how I kind of played the Mundo. Full sequence, control the objectives, and get ahead enough that you could beat people down. And of course, back then he was like a 1% picked champion in the jungle, not 0.1%. And he wasn't OP, he wasn't necessarily weak, but you just had to make it work. And I feel like this SHYVANA build is that kind of spot. So it's a little bit of a hidden OP build that you can run, and playstyle that you can run. See, now we can actually ult in on the combo. That was a lot of damage, and that was a solo kill, right? That damage now is already 84. Like, that was a solo kill. It doesn't look like we're missing any damage to me. Now we've got, 3,000 HP in Dragon form. We got a pretty decent length here on our ultimate, so we can chuck this one into the Akali to push the wave and do some damage. We want to get that mark. See that mark on top of her? She goes back in with the Dragon mark still on, which means if she gets hit, which she did, you lose that percentage max HP damage. Don't know why she wouldn't wait for that to finish. Nautilus goes too deep. We'll pick up some of this. See, now again, we're gated by our humanity. We're not a dragon, we don't have full fury, but it stacks pretty quickly at this point. Obviously leveling this up increases your fury stacking rate as well. 200 CS in 20 minutes, woo, let's go. She really wants to do the Baron, and you can, by the way. You really can, and now you're thinking, well, are we waffling and loitering and doing all this kind of stuff here? Yes, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because there's nothing else to do. The Twitch gets caught on, gives a 1,000 gold shutdown to the Kiana. And SHYVANA's just waiting, and waiting, and waiting. There you go. Alright, cool. Dodge that one. Movement speed proc. Beautiful. We have gone with the Q second. As I said, As I said, when they did the Q buffs, go with second. Huge, especially when you're going with the Spear Shojin build here. Not so high. You got bonus AP ratio buff on that as well. You don't need that burnout to be max second, even though they buffed that AP also. This is just a hybrid build, right? E into Q. I know you guys are going to do whatever you want anyway, whatever feels good, but figured I should point it out. Right, 505. Solar spawning, early soul for us. We don't go do our camps. Why? Because it doesn't matter at this point. We're full build. We're going to go for the Crypt Bloom. I think I like that a lot. Given the fact that SHYVANA now, with this build... Here, watch this. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, for the wall. Beautiful group. Nice knock up there. Oh, that's an assassination if there ever was one. Nuna's ulting. It doesn't do anything. That's a language for sure. Won't do anything. Wasn't going to do anything. Doesn't do anything. Who knows what I was going to say. Bit of Oompa Loompa going on there, but this is nice because, like, you're actually able to be involved rather than ulting and just chucking things. And I can't overstate that because that's been the problem. There's always a way to fix a champion when items have good enough synergies. And Aatrox had this before his rework, but it was like one patch and 2 people playing it, so the items suddenly worked with him. He was strong in the meta and he just out-stack checked everybody, but that's why he needed a rework. Same thing for SHYVANA here. If we nerf Leandries, nerf Shojin, you know, remove something else, she's going to struggle again, and that's not healthy, right? You need a more balanced playstyle. But the Crypt Bloom I love. It's a beautiful item. I rush it, not rush it, but I go second, third on Zyra all the time. I even like it on Kai'Sa, actually, Hybrid Kai'Sa. It's less useful on Hybrid Kai'Sa because when you chuck your W and you get the kill, the heal doesn't do anything. But in SHYVANA's case now, with this build where we're diving into people, it gives us an added penetration on all of that AP damage we do, as I showed you, but it also gives you that heal. And that heal is huge for you and your team because you're jumping in. If you're jumping in to get all the kills, it's actually the one place you want to have Crypt Bloom. And a lot of people who go Crypt Bloom aren't even in those fights, so the heals on the people they're killing, right, might actually be outside of where they're standing. Whereas SHYVANA's case here, like right now, you imagine we kill the Nunu, that heal is going to affect everybody here in this sphere of influence that's actually chasing the guy down. Although in this particular case, we're pushing it just a little bit. The Zillion speed up is beautiful, and you want to be careful not to overcommit. Well, there you go. As I say that, the Senna overcommits. There you go, another E. We're going to smite that away. The speed up, damage, I like it a lot. 1269. Dark Harvest stacks we'll check in a second. With 15, so pretty good. Pretty good. You know, you're 608. You don't think that you have done much in a game like this, but that's perfect. You got 15 stacks. You got now 11,000 gold. You know, the same as your ADC who's fed. It's huge. Really, really huge. And like, it looks like we want to try and buy as much as possible. Obviously, haste is huge as well on SHYVANA. And this is what I'm always afraid of. Now, my team have done a good job. Granted, yes. But it's very common that your team does a bad... Look at this. There we go. And off we go. Oh, man. It works, but yeah, haste is huge. 20 haste here. We don't have haste on this anymore, but we do on the Crypt Bloom. Kind of offset that just a little bit. Yeah, I like what I'm saying. So, don't overstay in greed here. I know I've seen a lot of you throw games in this particular case. It's good to reset. We should be able to have Crypt Bloom now, which we do. And 3 atoms, 26 minutes. Super duper fed, 808. 10 CS per minute. Keep that up. Let's go. Well, a little bit less at the moment, so we should take the Scuttle Crab. Trust our team to push. Wait for the Zed. See the Nunu out of position. Ult him in. And... oh. Healing just from that one occurrence was 243 on yourself. So you can see where, you know, an ingenious hunter would be pretty good in this particular situation. Get that sucker down to like 40 seconds. But it's not really that big a deal. 11-0-10. 273. 27 minutes. End the game so you get the 10 CS per minute. Match history linked below. SHYVANA actually, with these buffs, has a build that makes it kind of crazy good. See you all in the next one.